all you thespians of the anime world. I am Shannen, your friendly neighborhood anime misfit here, and welcome to the second episode of the Community Corner podcast, where we guarantee we are more professional than me making sounds with my mouth last time. Here with me today is, of course, my always loving hits his head with a bug zapper lamp.
That's an in-joke.
Lamp, that's the part where you say hello.
Yes, hello.
And to the right of me, or wherever the able space of all the way from across the pond, it is, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Kyubey Stand, and I make videos on YouTube. Subscribe. I make anime videos on the interwebs about either currently airing shows or older anime, or just stuff from like the last 10 years ago. It was almost 10 years ago, right?
Yes. And that makes me feel old, but yes.
Oh god, Death Note was 10 years ago.
The age.
Quit your... It's not age, it's just a visualization unless it becomes legal.
That's true.
I blame the passing of time and the fact we can't remember anime from 2 seasons ago.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Well, if you need a title, I could probably tell you, but...
I mean, if I went up on Crunchyroll here and look, let's see what was 2 seasons ago.
Because you could tell me the specific show, and I'm like, oh, yeah, it's...
I mean,
Ace Attorney.
7 Deadly Sins?
No. Hey, Black Clover was airing.
it still is airing.
I know, and it will never end.
That's good?
Look, all long-running series end, you just gotta rip the Band-Aid off and give it time. Speaking of what we're all talking about, that brings up an interesting conversation. A lot of bigger anime folks up in our field of spectrum have been talking about the anime classic and if it's dead or not, or what does it mean to anybody, and you know what grinds my gears about this whole conversation?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it's just the juxtaposition of what the classics start, because there's just so many levels of anime fans now. I'm going to go on a limb and say every generation has a classic. Like with all forms of media, like with cartoons, there's going to be classics for those who came up in the 80s or those who came up in the 90s to now. And saying, I do agree that things like the traditional anime review, as fortunate as it is, or stuff like the holy trinity of the anime that you should all watch is dead. That concept is dead. But I also don't believe that, like there was is just one time that classics were around. I feel like every generation of anime fans now has their group of classics. It just may not be the classics certain other people would adhere to. Like, people who grew up in their, like, little teens of the Sword Art Online era have classics in that area, against people like me, who grew up during the late 2000s boom, with shows like Ouran High School Host Club and the latter half of Toonami. Like, I was not around with Cowboy Bebop. Okay, I was around, but I was too small to know anime and anime form when Cowboy Bebop and Trigun ruled the world, and I only watched those shows later.
Oh, those were the ones I grew up with, especially because those were, like, not, I guess, classics, but, I mean, they were still, like, steadfast examples of good, at least for me, good anime back in my days, so, yeah, I can say that it's kind of changed.
Recently, I decided to watch the first episode of Beyblades again, and I was just like, man, this dub is so bad.
I mean, yeah?
I didn't know how, like, I was like, I don't remember how bad it was. It's also fun.
Entire side note, there is actually a spin-off of Beyblade where instead of Beyblades, they have RC cars, and instead of using remotes, they just throw them into the arena and hope that they win.
Just remember, it's canon in Beyblade mythos that most is part of the oceans with a Beyblade.
Yeah, that's... Mm.
1 minute you throw the Beyblade, and then all of a sudden it goes Initial D on everyone's ass and does Born in the 90s.
Yeah. No, I mean, to answer your question about the classic thing, I mean, like, I think there are... I mean, I'm looking at, like, because I've categorized my 10 favorite anime, and a lot of them have come from this decade, but there are a lot of, like, old... So, like, I think the oldest anime on my favorites list is probably Serial Experiments Lane.
Oh, that's actually a good show, though. That's a really good show. And
the newest one is JoJo's, but apart from that, it's probably Madoka.
Madoka, that was a twist on things.
I mean, people would consider Madoka a classic, but because it's not old, people, like, That's what I'm trying to say. A classic is a classic per generation. I mean, I would consider the likes of Hunter x Hunter and that maybe cult classics. And yeah, it doesn't have the staying power, but really, what does in this normal anime landscape where everything's about the here and now? We get so much good content now that it's just hard to be like, well, that's the good thing, and that's the bad thing, and that's the classic. Every generation that keeps up with a certain era of stuff is going to be the classic. I did not grow up in the Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z era when it was hot. I was the kid that grew up in the 2005 era where Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach ruled the world. That was my era of growing up for anime. So I was after when people were talking.
We had to compare everything to Evangelion.
So when I was growing up, it was very heavily pressured by the anime community to be like, you gotta watch the Cowboy Bebops and the Trigons and stuff, and I took a long-ass time to watch both those shows, and well, like, for God's sake, I love Trigun now. Ooh, I love that show. It took me a while to watch it, and I remember the shows that gravitated toward me. It's like, again, I love Ouran. It's the best harem anime to come out since sliced bread. It's, in my opinion, but it technically isn't a harem anime because it's a rom-com in a harem disguise, and I still say that, all the people that, because, like, half the people don't like, most of the people don't really, where am I going with Eldest? Okay, classics!
I think that was a reverse harem, but whatever.
Oh yeah, reverse it.
I mean, you could take, like, there are some, like, older stories, like Hunter and JoJo's, which are, like, they're old manga, but they're animes and new, so what about those? Like...
Oh, that's a good point. Like, if a show gets a reboot, like Parasite, which was something from the 80s.
Also, I just wanted to quickly mention my complete disappointment in the current part of JoJo's, that's it.
Which one? Is it Giorno? Is it part 5? Or
Part 5. I'm not a fan of part 5. I know it's popular. I know... It's weird because I know the manga was like really like mixed bag. It's the same with part 6 is also really mixed bag as well. But I feel like the anime has kind of changed a lot of people's minds about it. I don't know.
I go back and forth with part 5. Like I like part 5 for going there with stakes. There's more killing in part 5 than the other parts before it, and that's mainly because it's a part about gangsters. So you can't, it's kind of 1 and 1, but at the same time, it does kind of drag on a bit with the same type of deal.
Bruno's my favorite character.
Yeah, Bruno is the best, man.
It's just like, and I kind of feel like Arata just didn't take his full potential in the end. It just went, well, he's the mentor character. So like, yeah, that's it. Well, he's sort of the mentor character. I miss Speedwagon.
Yeah, I miss Speedwagon so much. But you bring up a point before. If a show from like, or a series from a long ass time ago, we're seeing a lot of those types of classics, like legit old shit, get reboots. Like Astro Boy got a movie rendition, Banana Fish got an anime. Yeah, again, JoJo's gets brought up a lot in this type of conversation. Parasite got redo. Moguro-sama just got coined as the worst selling anime of all time. And there was a really good video about how and why. And despite Moguro, you guys know. I mean, Mount Lamp. I'm gonna assume.
I don't think I've ever heard of this one before. I'm not really massively into manga. I read some manga, but only like specific ones.
Oh, this is mostly an old TV show-ish. Moguro-san is the laughing salesman, or should I say? I keep calling him something weird. Anyway, the laughing salesman is about this demon that looks like a laughing salesman, and he goes around to office men and women in their 30s and 40s trying to help with their problems, and he has certain rules. Like, for example, I'm not recognized by my peers. I want to shop till I drop. I want to have this. And Member-san gives them exactly what they want, with a catch. They have to follow the rules to it, and if they don't follow the rules to it, they get royally in the end.
Isn't that a little Pet Shop of Horrors?
Yes, in a way, yes it is. But the character of the laughing salesman has been an icon in Japan for years. But the video that I'm talking about, I need to give it to Lamp so that he can put it in the card in the card. The reason in that video depicts why it didn't sell well, and that's because the anime was gearing towards an audience that no longer watches anime anymore. Because originally anime was for the common audience person, the common Japanese person. So a lot of narratives back in the day were for families, people in their 30s going home from work, the normies, what we would call the normies nowadays. But now anime has become global and is more focused toward a 20, 30-year-old isekai audience that wants to be put in escapism. So something like Moguro-sama that talks about real-life problems with real-life consequences wouldn't really jive in this landscape.
Would you count Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood as part of the whole reboot, the whole remake thing?
I mean, yeah, it is a retelling or it's more of a remaster because it is more up to the manga. But in terms of it being like something that was 20 or 30 years old being rebooted to modern day, in this case it would be different because this was a reshot of the 2003 Full Metal Alchemist that went its completely own direction. I personally believe it's still a good one. Just because Brotherhood came out does not omit the original from being bad to being bad. It just has its own merits. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that whole topic up because it's been a popular thing with the bigger YouTubers upstairs.
I've been noticing this a lot, but a lot of especially the Bleach fans, they want the anime to come back so they can finish it. But after what happened with the Bleach manga.
Whoa! How come I keep?
Sorry, we're good. Talking twice. Wait, what happened to the Bleach manga?
Okay, Tite Kubo, the writer, I think he started off the series. He didn't get on with his editors. In Japan, you've got to follow what your editor says to the letter, I believe. I believe that it's sort of something like that. And he didn't get on with them, so he basically lost interest in the series over time. So his art was really good, but then it degraded over time into just there's no backgrounds and just fights are one attack only and stuff like that.
Oh.
Yeah, and the ending is I can't remember exactly what happened, but yeah.
I mean, it was the classic shonen epilogue where everybody has kids and the shippings have been established.
Yeah.
So the communication kind of led to it falling apart of the, I guess, the story and the writers and the.
Yeah, and then the anime sort of was cancelled. So
was it though?
Yeah.
Was it canceled?
Yeah, it was cancelled.
Do you know what it got? Do you know what it got cancelled for?
No.
I don't remember.
A Naruto spin-off, a Chibi Naruto spin-off called Rock Lee and Ninja Pals.
Yeah, I love that. I actually love that spin-off, man. Making Rock Lee the main star of it was genius.
I just find it funny.
That was a thing?
Yeah!
Yeah, but just remember, one of the big three shonens got cancelled for a spin-off of the other ones. That's
Yeah.
That's you can tell from just that's what happened to Bleach.
To its credit, Rock Lee and Friends was pretty good, man.
Yeah. Also, I have one more thing to say. Cause I just want to say something about shonens. You are not wrong about Lucy being the best character, being one of the best characters in Fairy Tail. I know the fandom says otherwise, but I don't care. She's amazing.
Wait. When did I make that public? Oh, that was probably on the other channel. I haven't made that video yet. Yeah. So
I remember the old days.
Yeah, they were old. They were old days.
My roommate watched the whole of Fairy Tail, all of it, and I'm just like, wow, that's a lot of lore and characters, and what happened with this one? Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
I still can't hate the show, but I'm more and more bitter about it as time goes on. I mean, with how the manga is and how essentially Fairy Tail ended, but it didn't end.
Isn't there the 100 years after thing?
So after he made it with the work, by the way, the ending of Fairy Tail was really bad.
Yeah, I've heard Bleach ended. Those are the two really bad.
So it ended, and he's like, well, I don't want to end my characters because he had Eden Zero, and the biggest complaint to Eden Zero is that every character looks like a mashup of Fairy Tail of some point. But
what I thought.
And then he's like, you know what? Let's just continue Fairy Tail and make a second sequel manga. And it's called The 100 Years War. He swears it's not going to go on as long, but it's going on as long.
It's just but the thing I've always had a problem with Hiro Mashima is just his design. He's very one note with his designs, as you've said. Everyone just looks like a Fairy Tail character.
I mean, Happy is still Happy. He's just a robot now. Plue, I'm going to give Plue a pass because Plue's supposed to be an Easter egg in all of his works. He's been in there since Rave Master. So
Master.
Oh, Rave Master.
there was that Rave Master Fairy Tail crossover, which I thought was dope.
All I remember was Earther in a bunny suit. That's the only thing I remember.
I mean, but yeah, I can't hate Fairy Tail at the end of the day, but I become a lot more sympathetic to the people that do hate it, because they're not wrong. There's so many issues with Fairy Tail to count, and he just loves... If it's not killing off his characters, it's over fetishizing them in the worst times. Even for a shonen anime, it got excessive.
Hey, at least the manga, the anime following the manga's ending, and there totally won't be an anime based on the 100 Years manga. I totally believe that. I don't believe it at all. Oh god, A1 Pictures and is it Bridge or Satellite who are doing it? Anyway, yeah, one of those two will probably do it.
There's so many studios that did the Fairy Tail series over time.
I believe there were two. I believe there was one, the best one. There was one that worked with A1 Pictures, and then they changed the art style, and then it wasn't as good. And then I think they stayed on in the sequel series, but then there was another studio that came on, so there were technically 3 studios.
Yeah, there were 3. There was the original one. There was the original studio, which I feel like was the best one. It made Fairy Tail look the most distinct. Then you have, I call the movie studio one that made the show look more like its movies. And then they had the third one, which was kind of like the second one, but because it was way later for Fairy Tail, the final season, it kind of I don't know, man. It's just Fairy Tail has become shonen's punching bag when everybody talks about bad shonen. I feel like it gets too much of a bad rap, but it's also kind of earned.
I kind of think that I technically think Black Clover's a bit worse, but yeah, I see your point.
I haven't watched Black Clover, so
all I remember is beach episode. How do you screw up a beach episode? I was going to say they need to Crunchyroll. This might be just going off on a tangent a bit, but I still think that Crunchyroll need to what I mean is some of the anime studios or whatever need to give more anime to Crunchyroll and stuff all that other, so that people can see stuff legally. If that makes sense, because we don't get I think it's only limited release for some countries on One Piece, on services like that.
I wouldn't be the authority on that because I don't really look that much into it.
Fair enough. Just saying, till I get onto it.
So, this is the part or the time where I asked Lamp. So, Lamp, what have you been watching lately as the de facto I don't watch much anime in the group?
He's been watching Lamps.
The Floor Lamp was great, and then there's one called The Knot from... Actually, this was one from IKEA called The Knot. Anyway, no. I've actually been watching the Netflix Not Quite anime.
The not quite anime.
Well, that goes into the question, if you consider Ruby an anime, if you ever watch Ruby.
Yeah.
And if... I'm on the fence about that. Basically that. But there's 2 shows that were not made by Rooster Teeth, but similar style. It was one's Ultraman and one is Ingress, and then I've also been watching those kind of 3D-esque shows that you can call them anime, but they're not anime 2D. So I've been watching those. I actually kind of like them, but you can tell they're written by a Western audience because they're so slow between episodes.
I mean, Ultraman is an anime.
Ultraman is Ultraman's based on a tokusatsu series.
Yeah, but the most recent it's technically 3D CG graphics, so I would still call it an anime because of the way it moves and the way the characters are designed. Yeah. I think I would call it an anime. So yeah, I've been watching that stuff. So not quite 2D, but definitely good shows. I guess my only complaint is that I wish they would get to the action faster and not make the character whine as much about I can't kill aliens. It's kind of their job. I mean, but it's like, dude, that's literally your job. You've been hired to kill aliens. Just do it.
I want Giga to bring back Ava Bridge. I want him to bring back Ava Bridge. It was so good.
But the pipe dream end, man. The pipe dream end. We don't know if he's gonna bring it back, and if he is, well, I'd better bet that shoes would fly soon. But I wonder, Lamp, why did you point out about 3D versus 2D? I mean, 3D anime is becoming a thing, and it's getting better. So, what made you make that statement?
I guess for me, part of me who grew up watching, Bebop and Trigun, Outlaw Star, part of me always wants to call anime like the drawn 2D kind of anime where it's just like animation on like hand-drawn or what looks like hand-drawn versus 3D, which part of me is like, well, if it goes to 3D, it's no longer maybe not anime because it's not drawn, but that doesn't necessarily mean it doesn't follow anime principles. So part of me is like, well, is it still anime? And I'm like, yeah, it's still anime because I think it's how it's done, not necessarily if it's 2D, but like the principles of its movement and characters and design, or its pacing and story. But because there's a thing like what you can call an anime for certain qualities. That's where I'm kind of on the gray areas. So I would not consider myself Ruby to be an anime, but I would consider Ultraman the remake or Ingress to be anime.
Ruby. I remembered when I sort of liked that show.
I mean, Ruby got so popular, it has a Japanese dub and a Japanese studio now.
A Japanese studio?
Okay, maybe...
What?
Wait, what am I trying to say here? Like, it's still made like it's always been, but, like, there's a Japanese, like, marketing plan behind it to sell it well in Japan.
Yeah, I know there's a manga.
Yeah, there's a manga now, too. It's been fully embraced as an anime over there. So the lines have been really blurred about what is an anime and what is not. Like, for example, Oban Star Racers back in the day, and To the Extent Miraculous Ladybug, they're both European collaborations with the Japanese to make an anime. But people would say, is that really an anime? I think both are, considering the type of narrative they've been wanting to tell. I mean, again, Miraculous Ladybug was originally supposed to be a 2D anime made by Toei, but they changed it the last second to 3D because it was easier.
And watching Ladybug, from what I watched, I like Ladybug, good show. I never watched it, but from what I saw, I would not personally consider it an anime, but not in style, but the story is definitely very anime in tropes.
I mean, Ruby tried to do the whole trope thing as well.
Well, compared to that and Ladybug, I think Ladybug gets the formula down a lot better, and I think Ruby kind of lost that at some point.
When it tried to be Harry Potter.
Or something, yeah. Because like Ladybug, it's like, oh, there's the boy, and I have to transform Sailor Moon-esque in order to stop the villain of the day. That's very basically anime, versus Ruby started a decent good trope and then kind of went like, there's so much lore. Oh my god, there's so much lore. That it kind of went a bit too far, which isn't bad necessarily. It's just not quite anime to me.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the Disney show Star vs. Forces of Evil, which is literally like a magical girl series. I need to catch up on that show.
It's ending next week. Wait, is it ending next week? I know that we're on the final episode. We are on the final episode, but it's not out yet.
To be fair, though, I was like, is Steven Universe ended?
The answer is no. Like, it ended the final season, but,
There's supposed to be, like, a time jump or something.
We don't know. I honestly have no idea.
Like, I haven't watched Star, but from what I've seen of Star, it was at least entertaining.
Oh my god, see, the final episode is now. It's out. It's already out. It's like, online. I gotta watch it later.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never actually watched Steven. I watched some Steven, and then I didn't watch Star, and then it's like, I'm out of the loop on things. I'm on classic anime in my head, like way older.
I like Steven Universe.
There's the best thing Cartoon Network's made in years.
Uncle Grandpa?
They had a crossover.
I'm not so mad about the crossover as other people are. I just think it's really funny. Because Uncle Grandpa is essentially a Time Lord without being a Time Lord. He
literally says it's non-canon at the beginning of the episode.
I know, and that's why I was like, that's just great. He's like, don't worry, this isn't canon. And it's like, God.
But then people are like, well, is it canon, though? It's like, no, but people can speculate all they want that it is. It links the universe, at least, let's put it that way.
Okay, I'm ready for this episode to end. Yeah.
I like Steven Universe. I keep going back and forth with what's my favorite show in there, because I like Adventure Time. I liked Adventure Time before ending. I did drop off of it because it was just getting a little too pretentious and being philosophical for me. But I did like its philosophical messages on existentialism. And then you had Regular Show, which was getting real with being a 20-something-year-old.
God, Regular Show.
It makes me desire more. I'm just glad we have Netflix, which is allowing us to get animation for 20 and 30-something-year-olds that isn't always Family Guy, or isn't that type of stereotype where it has to be raunchy or sexually charged to be an adult animation thing.
That's true. I mean, then again, I'm also watching shows that I would never think I'd watch on Netflix, like Birdie and or Tuca and Birdie, and that's just my brain.
When does Ava come out on Netflix?
Isn't it already out on
Uh,
Netflix?
I feel like it isn't because I haven't seen anything, but I feel like, I don't know, are they redubbing it? I mean, I'd expect them to, but
I don't have my phone on me, so I don't know.
I'm checking the internet now.
Neon Genesis Eva to Jelly.
Even the jelly.
Eva to Jelly.
I mean, yes, it is coming to Netflix.
Oh god, that's gonna be a trip.
Oh, June 21st. It's coming out June 21st.
Yep.
So we can tell. So we have a get in the damn robot situation coming in.
I mean, it's really close.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's a good show.
Will it be redubbed?
Will they put the end of Evangelion up though?
Yes, the end of it. Yes, it actually says right here. The end of Evangelion will introduce a whole new generation to Shinji, Rei, Asuka, and the rest of the Evangelion crew. So yes.
God, end of Evangelion was so weird. First half now makes sense.
You were saying Ava. I was like, wait, Ava? Who's this person? What show is? Oh, Evangelion. Okay.
I mean, I just call it Ava for short because.
Well, no, I didn't know that. It's like, oh yeah, you can shorten that. I just didn't think about that.
I'm sorry, but I do not think it is the greatest anime of all time, unlike some people.
No, I agree. It at its time it was good, but it doesn't it isn't the standard for all anime.
The theme song is popping though.
God, whenever that comes on, I'm like, this can't get out of my head now.
Yeah, even though my favorite opening in any anime is still again from Brotherhood, probably.
I want to change this.
Alan,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, say what you gotta say before I change topic.
No, I honestly forgot what I was gonna say anyway, so you're good.
Alright, so I'm gonna change topic a bit to bring us back into the spectrum of Kyubey. So, Kyubey, tell us what it's like being a YouTuber in England and such. Like, I know anime is still kind of niche no matter where, but, like, what's it like being an anime YouTuber in another country that's not the States?
I mean, I get all my views from the States.
Okay.
The whole thing about it's mostly just like reading comments is hilarious because of them. I think you'll understand what reading some YouTube comments are like. It's just like, yep, delete. It's not like I don't know, like it's more like stuff like it's funny how my most popular video is based on Pokemon. That great fight from the end of X and Y right before debatably the biggest like middle finger to Ash actually developing as a character.
Oh yes.
Hey, what's worse, that time that rando turned up and defeated him with a Darkrai and Latios, or that time that a guy came out with his Mega Charizard X and defeated him even though he was, like, evil? You decide.
I never watched that far into the show, so I don't actually know.
I watched too much Pokemon.
That's the sad part. They always give Ash the middle finger right at the very end. He goes through this big trial to help beat the big bad guy, and then gets killed by someone who has a legendary Pokemon. Like I don't know if it was... No, I think it was Sinnoh region. He didn't even make it into the top 8. He lost to somebody with a Darkrai.
Yeah, that's who I was referring to. He lost to someone with a Darkrai.
And in the season where Ash was really, really good at being a Pokemon trainer with the Ash Greninja thing, he got all the way to the finals and then lost to a fire type, to a Mega Charizard who had a disadvantage in typing. How?
Because the writers...
Not like Pokemon ever is consistent with its types and its preference. It's the you have advantage thing.
I mean, it's the dumbest thing about the Pokemon anime is at first it tried to not do that. And then in later seasons, it tried to follow the games more, and it just created this weird paradox.
Like, it was like, oh my god, can we actually make a season where Ash wins? Oh my god, we actually might do that. Nope.
The thing is, though, he won that whole tournament. I believe he won the Kalos League, which is the biggest middle finger. Because
is it?
Yeah, I believe he actually won the league and he won the tournament, and then the rando comes out who was technically in alliance with Team Flare, the evil team of the region, and he's just like, "Hi, I'm challenging you as well to fight the champion."
Wait, the guy with the Mega Charizard was the rando that came up. I thought he was the leader. I thought he was the guy who got to the top.
No, he wasn't. He was he was just sort of this guy who was researching mega evolutions, I believe, and then he came out and was just like, "Yeah, hi, I'm going to defeat you now and fight the champion myself. And then Ash was like, yeah, sure. And then he loses, and that's why everyone raged so much at that.
Rightfully so, I'd imagine.
I mean, it's not the first time he gets over at the last second.
I think it's the worst though, because he actually beat the league and then just no.
I wonder why. Maybe they're trying to leave Ash as like that underdog character. It's like, oh, he's gonna keep fighting no matter what, and then it's like, but you're.
I mean, people have said that the reason that the creators always make Ash lose is because it's supposed to entice the little kid watching the show to buy the game so that they can be better than Ash. Because, for example, the person with the Darkrai, that was alluded to be a player character from the game who beat Ash.
I mean, there's also the fact of, I believe, the original plan for the anime was completely different. It got changed because of how popular it was. But, like, I think originally, like, they were going to swap protagonists every region. But due to how popular the show, the first season in Kanto was, they were like, no, we can't get rid of him. Because people liked Ash back then.
Yeah, but they kept making him lose so that it would entice the kid in the audience to be like, I can do better than him. He lost to that. Let's go buy the game and try to and show that we can do that. That was literally the point. And I kind of accepted it after a while. Like, especially with that loss with the Greninja, I'm like, why?
I mean, if we're going by modern Pokemon game standards and what I've played, dear lord, people have mastered the science of that game.
Well, IVs and EVs, yep.
Yeah, like, oh, you gotta train this, hold this, raise this. They can just, like, one-shot you at some points. I'm like, what happened to just catch and train? Now it's a weird formula.
It's because, like, there's a code behind every Pokemon, and if you crack the code, if you can go for, like, hundreds of Pokemon and crack the code, you can get, like, the strongest Pokemon. You can, like, I mean, it's kind of dumb when you got, like, one-hit kill moves, but yeah.
It's like, I've tried playing online with this most recent handheld. It's terrifying.
Yeah, but yeah, back to my point about being a YouTuber. I believe, like, the thing is I've sort of gone to, like, I've decided to do some series as well, so I've, like, reviewed some anime. Like, I've reviewed, like, the first couple of seasons of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've done a sort of breakdown of Highschool DxD and why I don't really like it that much.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about that.
You're mad at me, aren't you?
Well, I wouldn't say mad because I was looking at that series and stuff, and look, man, I get it. Like, Highschool DxD is a dumb show. It's objectively a bad show in writing and characters and everything. But I'm going to be on the side of I fucking love the show because it knows it's dumb and it doesn't hide for what it is. It doesn't try to be some... The problem I have with ecchis nowadays, or like its rip-offs, because its rip-offs can go suck a is because...
Yeah, I don't like those as well.
The rip-offs are worse because they show that they try to be something it's not. Highschool DxD is a show about boobies and butts, no matter what, and it keeps to that letter. No matter how serious the plot gets, it kind of does that. Yeah, it bashes on religion a lot, and I think the reason why I didn't like the 4th season, or I kind of fell out of love with the series after the 3rd season, is pretty much because it kind of got old with that. It kind of got stale by that point. Yeah, they were going after Eastern tradition. Like, for the first 3 seasons, they were going after Western religion. Like, you know, church bad, because that's a very common thing in anime. Church is bad, especially the Catholic Church. Even though, it's the Catholic Church's history. I know why people go after it, so it's kind of justified. But, like, in the fourth season, they were going after the Buddhist traditions, and, like, yeah, I get it. And then there was that whole 3rd season with the white dragon guy, like, look how edgy and cool I am. I'm gonna beat you and kill you because we're destined to fight. And people, like, bash on Issei so much because, oh, he's weak. He's the weakest dragon holder ever. Blah, 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 blah. But people don't care anyway because with the power of boobs, anything is possible.
I would disagree.
And to DxD's credit, Season 1 wasn't really a harem. It was more like a rom-com with a harem in the background. It only went full-on harem in Season 2.
I will say this about DxD. I don't hate it as much anymore, because then I went and watched Shinmai Mao no Testamento, and I absolutely hated that show. It's one of the rip-offs, I believe.
Yes, that and I Can't Do Something Age. F*** those two. Testament of the New Sister should have never gotten a sequel. It's not fair that thing got a f***ing sequel. It is dog.
Why did that get an OVA as well? It got like multiple.
He's like, I hate the main protagonist. The main protagonist is the reason. Like, the main, first of all, it's basically High School DxD, but if they put a generic harem protagonist in. Why I liked High School DxD was mainly because of Issei. Issei was an unapologetic, dirty-ass pervert and knew it. He owned it. So,
And then there's this guy.
and then everything he did, yes, was dumb and disgusting, but it was justified because he did not coddle with being, oh, I'm actually a good virgin guy under that. No, this guy, this guy's a fucking prick in Testament. He's like, oh, I'm the big brother. I'm a cool guy that's gonna protect the demon's daughter and show I'm actually, and I'm gonna go fight against the knights who are the good guys. But in truth, I just have a sister complex, a fetish for little sisters, and I go into this state of mind, man, where I just like grope them and do everything to them, and I grow my own harem. And then there's that whole scene where I essentially my healthcare teacher who coaxed me into her, which, by the way, honestly, that lady was
Seductress?
Yes.
Suggestive.
Yes. So, like, basically, I don't like the fact that the main character tries to hide he's a pervert, or hide that he has sexual desires. He needs to stop pretending that he's being noble. It pisses me off.
Is the other one the one where it's like it's sort of like the Reaper? I believe the other ripoff is like the Reaper.
Okay, so the other one gets me mad on a completely other reason. While one has a main character that's too morally high ground for his own ass, the other one is so trying hard to be Issei, it gets annoying. He's a carbon copy of Issei, but worse. And they really push the childhood friend gets pwned real hard. Because there's a childhood friend that is in love with the main character, but they go through a whole thing how she gets axed by the main character because he didn't meet her first. Like, oh, I'm sorry, I only see you as a sister because, childhood friends don't get some in anime. And I hate that trope in ecchi so much.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
Like, I get it. I get what you're trying to say. Friends, you've known your friend for so long, and you guys gotten so familiar that it might be kind of weird to date someone that might know too much about you, and you want something new and exciting and shiny. That's why you go after the redheads that come out of nowhere. But damn, man, these guys will love you no matter what. No matter if you're a good guy or a scumbag. They stick with you, and you still give them the shaft because you want the shiny new broad that comes out. Why?
I mean, it's like wanting to get that shiny Pikachu over the regular one. It's just slightly more yellow.
But out of the two shows, I hate Testament more because H was bad, but it was forgettable for just being trying too hard to be a clone of High School DxD. Testament tries to do more by being, oh, look at me, I'm getting rid of the bad rapist from the evil big land who's obviously a bad guy. Look at me for being a just warrior. No, I have a good harem. I treat my women right. I totally don't go into a subconscious where I mercilessly pretend to be some kind of pimp, but I didn't go back and take that away because I'm not a bad person. Oh, look at me, I'm groping her tits because I have to, not because I want to. Just stop it, man.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just noticed, hey, you can tell they're ripoffs because they've all the female protagonists always have red hair.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
but yeah, it's completely understandable that you think High School DxD sucks. It has a lot of problems.
Yeah, it's not the fact. I don't like it, but I'm not like. And then I saw the Testament one, and I was like, no, this is so much worse. I think I put that as like my worst anime of all time. Why? Yeah, no, seriously. Like, I know you understand that it's dumb and stupid, and that's fine. But there are people actually out there who legitimately think, no, this is a well-written, well-constructed show with multiple characters, and not in that sense.
I mean, it has a literal monster that has boobs. It has a boob monster that shoots lasers out of its nipples.
I mean, self-awareness is one thing, but then it's like, you take all the seriousness out of it, and you can't call this, like, a good show.
Yeah, no, that was basically my point. I mean, to be fair though, it's probably. I mean, it kind of reminds me of High School DxD in a way, just for that like whole thing.
Oh yeah, if you don't, it is. No, that's another turn off your brain show. But one thing, the only thing I really could never crack in the whole DxD mythos was the night guy. He got his own arc in the second season, but it was never like, there was always like this overlying running gag that he might be gay for Issei, but we don't know. But I don't know, there was this joke, for example, after the whole thing was over, like, Issei was at the pool, and all the girls were playing in the pool, and he was changing to go to the pool too. All of a sudden, this guy came in, the night guy comes in and be like, hey, thanks for what happened in the past arc. You really saved me and all that. And he's like, dude, I'm changing.
I don't really remember that for.
And then Issei was going on about how this was getting more intimate than it's supposed to be, and he tried to run away. And I was like, are you guys making a gauge? Because it was never. It was because there was always this underlying thing of whether he had interest in women or not. Because they were all doing their in that same episode, they were all doing the antics of getting Issei's dick wet by trying to be like, I have a cool swimsuit. No, I have a cool swimsuit. And then you just see him just the night guy just swimming right by, not caring about all that. He's just like, look at me, I'm swimming. So I always thought, is the show trying to tell me that he might be gay? Or he might...
It's a mystery.
Or he might be asexual?
I guess for me, maybe they're trying to, especially for fan service reasons, because of course fan service, it's like, maybe these two are a thing. You'll never know until you watch more.
I'm just going to say one more thing, though. Akeno is best character.
Which one? Oh, Akeno! You mean the lightning chick, right?
Yeah, she was, my favorite character of the whole show.
Yeah, she was great. She also was unapologetically who she was.
Yeah, I liked her. She was fine.
Sure, there was all those factions between, because they got all serious with the factions between the angels, the demons, the archangels, not the archangels, the fallen angels, which were fallen angels that were in the middle, and then you have Issei, who represents the dragons, who were a neutral class because it's just D&D, man. And then season 4 changes their animation, and a lot of people were mad about the animation, but I didn't really care much. What got me away from the series and I didn't watch it is because it kind of looked boring at that point. Yeah, it's just DxD, but they're going after Buddhist traditions now with the Fox girls and all that. And I'm like, y'all should have done that earlier.
I mean, all I remember is just that song that kind of broke my soul. But yeah, that song broke my soul when I originally heard it.
You know what's funny is after my roommate watched that one too, and I heard that clip, I went to look at the screen and was like, what are you watching? And he's like, it's on the Dragons. Like, wait, what's he? Oh my god. I was like, okay, writers, I see what you're doing.
This is subtlety. We threw it in the car.
There's a benefit of having a roommate who likes to watch anime. I'll hear the audio, and now and again it's just like, oh, okay, hold on. I just have to go take a look. It's like, you can't be serious. And that was one of them.
That's the point I wanted to make about DxD. At least it's not Testament thing.
Yeah, it's not Testament of a new cancer. That show. Everything. Look, man, it's not that hard, Testament. Stop trying to be more than you're not. You're not some morally high thing about protecting the children, or we respect women, or look, as a woman, I can't believe I'm using the as a woman reference, but as a woman, you gotta get off your high horse. This is a show about boobs and tits, and even I know it's a show about boobs and tits. Stop it. Stop trying to pretend, trying to both be about, hey, I protect all my girls while also having your dick in half their cleavages.
All I remember is all I can think about now is you saying yes, but this is a respectful show. I remember the premise is about them forming a contract, and
what happened was there was supposed to be a contract so that everything would be protected, but it happened the other way around.
Yeah, I didn't like the troll character.
Yeah, the troll character, which was the demon daughter's maid, who wanted to get those two laid. She always does stuff that gets worse. Yeah, I will say this. She kind of saves the show a little because she's basically the insert. We know what the show's about. We'll help you remember what the show's goddamn about.
Yeah.
But it was always jarring because when you have if you want to make an ecchi show, you gotta know what you want to do with it. Otherwise, you're either gonna bore the audience with a forgettable premise, or you're going to try to be conflicted by trying to be morally high ground. If you're worried about having, for example, having lollies in your show, then just don't put lollies in your show. If you're worried about stepping on people's toes, then just don't do that. Just go with the standard boobs and butts or something.
That's what I've been saying.
At least with DxD, everything's with demons and stuff. That's another reason I kind of didn't mind the etchiness in this one. It's not like it's the 3P. It's not like with these Moe Blob shows, which are geared towards 30 or 40-year-olds, which is about little girls with questionable ages doing like Moe stuff, and the main character's like either a high school or adult teaching them. I swear it was super weird about that show about the church. Like it's a series no one really talks about, but it's called 3P something. It's about a church rock band consisting of like three fourth graders, 3 female fourth graders or third graders, and their teachers like in high school or almost adult.
I feel like I might remember that show. I mean, all I remember is we don't talk Sensei.
About what?
Eromanga Sensei.
Oh yeah, I didn't really watch that show. I just watched all the fanfare that came with it. Again, like I said, Eromanga Sensei kind of knew what it wanted to be, so I guess if you watched it, then you owned up to it. So that's why I kind of see why it became infamy. So, let's talk about the thing we were talking about before when we tried doing this the first time. That lamp! Can you tell us about that lava lamp? Let's review that.
I have one right here. I have two here for you.
Yeah, I might need to see pictures of these.
Okay.
Just to be
take some pictures and send it to us so we can show the audience.
Here's the visuals.
Okay, 1 second.
And while we do that, let's put the spotlight back on Lamp and ask him some weird questions.
Okay.
So, because you need to talk more in these stupid.
I did more this time than last time.
This is better than last time. This is much better than last time. So, Lamp, is there any tropes in anime you don't like?
Actually, speaking of the DxD thing, why the character must poke boobs or use any kind of boobs or butts to get power when it's like, alright, you have a holy dragon thing with you. Why don't you just, use that instead of having to use a female of the day to be like, oh, I need to, fight for, not because she is your friend or your charge, no, because she's sexy. Guys, please fight for at least the honor part and just dig to the core of power, not because of the cleavage, but because you have a duty to do. Please. That is one thing that bugged me in a lot of anime, and I don't know why it's still here. To be fair, it's a very guy thing, and I get what the market they're trying to go for is like, haha, it's the humor. But it's been played out.
How many times did Issei do that, though? I seem to remember him doing it, I'm trying to remember.
It happens a lot, towards the climax of fights. He's fighting against a super hassle who's like, when I finish this fight and we beat you, I'm going to do some naughty stuff to the girl you like. And he's like, no, I won't let that happen to you. So I must visualize my power. And he's like, I have to visualize my power in the form of Reese's tits. And I'm like, visualize, and then he gets sudden boner power up and then beats the bad guy.
I just remember that bit. All I remember is the one from, I think it's season 3 and season 4. I just remember those two the most. Because he launches off like a rocket when he does it, and it's just like, power up.
And that, along the tropes of isekai anime, then if an anime becomes too harem-y, that becomes a bit stupid for me, because I'm like, okay, I get it, you have I get the point of the show, but try focusing less on the harem aspect and more on what you can do with the characters' interactions, not just this is the female group of the main character. No, that you have so much characters to work with and their different personalities. Maybe you can make some interesting story arcs from this. No? Okay, they're just background pieces then.
Oh, you mean Master of Ragnarok?
Or things like that,
Oh,
yeah.
That show was bad.
I mean, going back to Auron, that was okay, because at least in the reverse harem setting, you had people who made interesting stories on their own. Everyone wasn't just a set piece, it was their own character. That was good. There was technically a central protagonist, but at the same time, after Haruhi, you really didn't have any kind of hierarchy beyond that. They were all equally important. That was good. And she didn't have to look at their pants and be like, I'm fighting for that.
I'm just trying to think of I'm just thinking of Ainz from Overlord. I'm fighting for her, not Albedo, her.
I mean, if I was in a reverse harem and I had to visualize the guys something to be like get a power boost, I would probably visualize them in like sexy outfits and be like, power of Dr. Whatevers, and then like go fight something. Hey, at least if they're clothed at that point, and it'd be a fetish. I don't know if I should just go on say let's visualize on their penises and then just go. That would be both weird. That would be both weird and kind of like questionable, because I don't know. But that goes into a conversation I do not want to bring up in this podcast. So Kyubey, tell us about the lamps.
Yes,
the lamps are in
the are lava lamps.
Yes, those are lava lamps.
So yeah, I got a salt lamp I use. So
yes, there are 2 lamps in the picture that I sent to the chat.
I dig it. One's got a very nice form there. Just say.
These are 2 lava lamps.
Oh, I see them now. One's kind of like the standard like lamp of the day, and the other one's like this like wiggly worm.
Yes, I have lots of them. I got a big one. I got a big one somewhere else, but I don't know where it is.
Taken out of context, that sounds a lot.
Isn't that what the internet is for? They're just taking stuff out of context and just repackaging it.
I mean, yeah.
So, Lamb, tell us, how do you like your brethren? Tell us how great they are.
Say what?
Tell us about your brethren.
I think they are a very nice pair of lamps. If I may post my own lamp, I have a picture here. I will send you an example of one of mine.
I'm sorry, you decided that's a lovely
you got one of those rock crystal lamps from Spencer's.
That's the only one I have. That's the only one I have in my room, and that's all the light I need.
Yeah.
But I think they're supposed to clean the air or something and make it like, energize the ions, whatever. But I don't believe it.
Save the environment.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to use much light anyway because I live in my cave and I don't need much light in my day.
Is it an actual rock?
Yeah, it's salt. You can lick it.
Have you licked it?
No, but I don't want to try.
I don't believe that.
Supposedly it's actually like crystallized salt, and you can technically use it, but it's not advised. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I happen to like a good set of lamps.
I just imagine your character just rubbing its giant body across the rock thing and being like, ooh.
I will put that visual on the screen.
being like, it's like rubbing 2 sticks together over a fire and being like, give me ions! Give me the ions! Give me good energy!
Oh no!
And that's what you use to like get all the energy for that beam thing you do sometimes. Be like, that's your secret. You rub yourself against a salt lamp.
Oh god, yep, that's gonna be kids canon now. I have to use that. Oh god, where'd that come from? No, that's an idea.
Why does this just remind me of the reason I picked my channel name was because I combined my 2 favorite anime at the time. And just went, yeah, sure, whatever.
Which is Madoku's Magic Booze and JoJo's Bizarre Adventures.
I know, it's pronounced Madoka Magica. And
Magenta Magica.
Like, have you heard that? What was it? Have you seen the Anti-Up with Madoka?
No.
Is that the new thing coming out with Madoka?
No, it's I know what you're thinking of, but I'll send it to the. Oh man, let me just find it on.
Is it like is it supposed to be like some sort of spin-off series for Madoka?
Mixed it and like it was like a song. Someone like I think it was like a rap song, but then someone did a verse with it and sort of combined it.
Oh.
So it was about Madoka Magica.
Oh.
Oh man, let me just send it to them.
Okay.
It was this. Yeah, good old Madoka.
Oh god. Okay. I'll listen to that when I have a chance.
I chose and there's also
Magi life.
And there's also Jim's Bizarre Beams. Everyone's ever heard of.
Jimmy John's Bizarre Acoustics.
God damn,
I actually there's been so many remixes of that though, like parodies. Great.
I'm so looking forward to JoJo's Part 7 adaptation. It's the best one.
They even put that joke in the video game for Hat in Time. It's Ora Ramen. It's a ramen shop. It's like, are you serious? It was a JoJo reference in a Hat in Time.
Look, there are JoJo references in everything.
It's like and the whole thing is Tokyo-based themes, so it's like, okay, DLC, I get what you guys are doing here, but there's so many puns. I don't even know where to start.
I mean, I still live by the idea that JoJo's and Dragon Ball are the most like influential shonens of all time, like old ones. Apart from like ones before, like One Piece and Naruto and Bleach.
Yeah, I'd say and JoJo's definitely has a huge impact on a lot of things.
And plus, like, look at how much Dragon Ball inspired.
Mm-hmm. And JoJo's gonna inspire a lot more in the future too. Yeah, good point.
I mean, have you not heard of Diesel, the American comic that tried to rip off Stardust Crusaders?
No.
That was a real thing.
Oh god, that sounds very bad.
The story behind it was the guy basically found fan sub translation of the manga of Stardust Crusaders, and he loved it. But this was like in the 90s, so he couldn't get it like translated. So he was just like, yeah, screw you guys, I'm gonna go make my own JoJo's Bizarre Adventure with blackjack and hookers. And it lasted 1 issue.
Oh, wow.
And and it totally wasn't a rip-off. Isn't that right, Stans?
I might have to go see that just to see how bad it was.
I believe there are reviews on the internet.
I'm gonna have to find this now.
And in the meantime, it seems that we are hitting that hour point. We're actually over by a couple of minutes, so.
Oh, it's fine.
It's gotten time for us to say goodbye for now. So.
Well, what about the next projects for our guests?
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me. So, you got anything coming up in the future? Anything you want to plug?
My new Digimon Fusions video. Watch it. Also, subscribe to my channel, Kyubey Stand. Just Kyubey Stand. Type that into YouTube. And if you don't, just look up what Kyubey is spelt on Google, because I know it's really weirdly. It's hard to. I forget how it's spelled half the time, but yeah. Look forward to more content like Yu-Gi-Oh! And something else probably. I can't remember.
I can put the channel name on like the screen here if it helps spell it out.
Thank you.
Well, anyway, as always, if you are someone out there in the anime community who is small and is looking to talk to us, you have a interesting YouTube channel, you have some kind of comic book or manga, which I'm still looking for out there, by the way. I know you exist, professional cosplayers and whatnot, then hit us up with the hashtag Community Corner on Twitter, not Facebook, Twitter, or our Discord, or in the comments below. So this has been me, Shannen, your wonderful anime misfit, Lamp, and Kyubey, signing off for now. Say bye, guys.
We'll see you later.
Bye-bye.